Hello, this is Basic Chemistry, Chapter 9 on Chemical Quantities and Reactants, and we are in Section 9.3, which is Limiting Reactants. A limiting reactant is a reactant that gets used up first. Okay, so let's look at a couple examples. Okay, if you run out of one and have leftover of the other, it does not matter how much leftover you have. If you run out of one, you're finished. Okay, so you can't make as much. Let's say I have a million zillion pounds of one compound, but only a little bit of the other. I can't make a zillion billion pounds of product, even though I have all the stuff I need from one. If I am making a compound of 1-to-1, say, I need, for every one of one element, I need one of the other. And if I run out of one, I can only make a little bit of product. Okay, so it limits the amount of product you can make. So here's some weird examples. Okay, if you have a table setting of 1 fork, 1 knife, and 1 spoon, then in order to set the table, I need a knife, fork, and spoon at each place. All right, so how many table settings are possible from 6 forks, 4 spoons, and 7 knives? Okay, which one is the one that limits the amount of table settings you can have? So I'll look and see, well, I need 1, 1, and 1, so I can only make 4 table settings. It doesn't matter that I have 7 knives. I'm going to have 3 leftover knives. How many leftover forks am I going to have? 2. So I'll look down at the smallest number that I need. If in this case it's a 1-to-1-to-1, the smallest number I have, and so remember we put everything in moles in chemistry because it's a number. So if I had 6 moles of forks and 4 moles of spoons and 7 moles of knives, and it's a 1-to-1-to-1, how many table settings of products can I make? I can only make 4, okay, because I'm going to have leftover forks, I'm going to have leftover knives. So let's do peanut butter. Okay, I need 2 pieces of bread and a tablespoon of peanut butter to make a sandwich. Okay, well, if I have 8 slices of bread, how many sandwiches can I make? If I have 8 slices of bread, I can only make 4 sandwiches. If it requires 2 pieces for every sandwich, okay? What if I have 11 billion tons of peanut butter? I can still only make 8 sandwiches. The bread limits it, okay? What if I only had 1 tablespoon of peanut butter and I had 8 pieces of bread? How many sandwiches can I make? I could only make 1 sandwich because it takes a tablespoon of peanut butter to make 1 sandwich. And if I only have 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, I can only make 1 sandwich. It doesn't matter that I have all this leftover bread, okay? So whatever limits the amount of product is called the limiting reactant. Whatever is left over is called the excess reactant. So we'll start with an easy one, and then we'll do a harder one in a minute. When 4 moles of hydrogen, okay, so this is 4 moles of hydrogen, are mixed with 2 moles of chlorine, how many moles of HCl will form? Okay, well, let's balance the equation and see. I've got 2 H's, I've got 2 H's. I've got 2 Cl's and I've got 2 Cl's, so it's balanced. So I've got let me rewrite it. So I've got a 1-to-1-to-2 relationship. All right. Well, if I have 4 moles of H, how many moles of HCl can I make? Okay. Well, it's 1-to-2. So I'm going to do it this way. Okay. 4 is to 1. So 4 is to 1 as X is to 2. Okay. Well, this is cross multiplication, so I have 1x equals 8, so x equals 8. That means if I have 4 moles of H, I can make 8 moles of product. Okay. What about the Cl2? If I have 2 moles, okay, so I have 2 is to 1 as x is to 2. Well, 1x equals 4. I can make 4 moles, okay? Which is limited? If I had all the hydrogen, I could make 8 moles of product. If I had all the chlorine, I could make 4 moles of product. Do you see that I can't make more product than I have chlorine? My chlorine limits it. This is the limiting reactant. It makes smaller amounts of product. So if I use all my chlorine up, I'm going to have leftover hydrogen. Okay, I can't use all the hydrogen because I need chlorine to build with it. It's a one-to-one relationship. For every two atoms of hydrogen, I need 2 atoms of chlorine. And if I only have 2 moles of it, I don't have 4 moles of it. I can only make, in this case, 4 moles of product. It limits the reactant. So what we'll see here, what I did here is I made a ratio. I took the number that I had, okay, the number from the balanced equation, then the number I don't know to the balanced equation, and then I did a cross multiplication. We'll do another one. This is harder now because I have to get to moles before I can do it. I have to go from grams to moles. So if I have, this is going to be a 2 to 1 to 2 relationship. Okay, so if I have 8 grams of hydrogen, okay, and hydrogen is 1, so it's actually 1.00794, but I'm just going to put 2 there since it's 2 hydrogens, each one, 2 grams per mole. Okay, well, how many moles is that? That's 4 moles. Okay, 4 moles of H2. All right, and 24 grams of water or oxygen. So 24, and it's 16, but there's 2 of them, so that's 32. Okay, so 24 into 32. That's 3/4. Let me just do it this way. Okay, so this will be 0.75 moles of O2. Okay, well, calculate the mass of water. Well, this is a 2 to 2. That means if I have 4 moles of H, I can make 4 moles of water because it's a one-to-one relationship. This is a 1 to 2. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. I have 0.75 moles of water is to 1 as I don't know is to 2. Do you see? Here was the 0.75. Here's the 1. 0.75 is to 1 as what is to 2. Okay, so 2 times 175 is 1.5. I can make 1.5 moles of water, which is the smaller amount. Because I can't make the bigger amount, I can make the smaller amount. The smaller amount is 1.5. I can make 1.5 moles of water, and because I couldn't make the bigger amount because I didn't have enough oxygen. I used all my oxygen. If I use all my oxygen, I have 15 or 1.5. If I use all my hydrogen, I don't have enough oxygen to do it with, so I have to make the smaller amount. Well, this is asking for grams. It's 18 for 1 mole. It's 18 grams. Okay, so 18 times 1.5 is going to be 27. So it's 27 grams of water is all that I can make because I had to take the smaller of the amounts. Okay, so tomorrow we'll work on some problems. Hopefully it'll make a little more sense, but this is just an introduction.